All right. Wanted to take advantage of this podcast. I don't want it to be just a Tuesday only thing. I want to have conversations on here. I want to, I don't know, expand on thoughts and just things that I see in Tennessee and the attitude that I have moving out here now. And now that we've been here for 3 years, how I feel and kind of how it's changed me, right? Because there's a lot to go with it. And one main factor is one of my favorite things to do now is just ask people, what's your idea of success? Like what's success to you, right? And obviously answers are all over the place with your number one thing being money, right? Money money for some reason is that object that everyone is racing towards and trying to like cling to and get to, right? But let me tell you mine first. My idea of success was to figure out what I loved to do and what made me happy to do that thing every day, genuinely happy, and do that. Like that's what success is to me. When you look at successful people, they enjoy what they do. It's not just working the 9 to 5 and climbing the ladder and doing all that stuff. It's just you actually enjoy every single day the fight and getting up and working late. I mean, working late hours. Like I'm up until 11 p.m. Editing. In the meantime, I'm roasting beans in between. I'm up at 6. I head straight to the gym. I get home. I'm doing stuff around the house, and then I'm also doing editing mixed in the day. Like it's nonstop, but I love it, and I wouldn't change it for anything. But the thing a lot of people don't understand is there's compromise. You have to leave money on the table if you want happiness. Money will solve problems. It'll help you solve problems, but then as you keep going, those problems only get bigger, right? It's not like your problems just disappear. So you've got to accept that you're going to leave money on the table in order to be happy. And I'm all right with that. It was as simple as reversing it, right? You figure out what you want to do. Like what do you want? What do you want out of everything? What do you want out of life? What do you want your goals to be? Now reverse it. Like how are you going to get there, right? And figure out what sacrifices you're going to have to make. But for some reason, everyone just keeps focusing on the money side of things. And it's funny because it's like if you focus on the money, then what? You get the money and then it's like you go buy something. You go buy that car. You go buy shoes. You go buy something, some material object that's going to give you happiness. It's going to give you that sense of happiness, I guess, for the time being. I mean, I could tell you when we moved, like I looked at all the stuff, like even I look at the stuff now and I'm like, why do we have this junk? Like, it's just junk. Like, why did I buy that? Like, but there must have been like some point where I was like, wow, this is going to make me happy if I buy this. And I bought it. And now it sits on a shelf collecting dust. So like or even if like your goal is an amount of money, right? Like, oh, I'm going to make X amount. Like, then what? Once you make that amount, then what? Because you can only buy so much or do so much. Now you got to keep increasing that goal if you want to keep things going. So, I mean, I don't get it. We go buy things and you buy a car or something and it gets put on a pedestal and you think, you could show someone else, you're trying to impress them or something, like someone you don't even care about or know. You're trying to impress them and change their impression of you for some reason. But it's really just highlighting your insecurities of your own life, right? Because you're replacing things with material possessions. You're replacing this happiness because you don't want to give up on the money side of things. Hopefully this is making sense because this is where my mind goes in this. So it's like your KPI, like your performance indicator is money. Like that's where we get stuck. Like we think like our salaries, like we get raises, like it's all driven. Like you ever see somebody that gets so excited off of getting a raise, like, I got a raise, like I'm worth it. Like this is okay. Now what? Like you got the raise, is you're going to cheers it and you're going to be happy and stoked and stuff. But you're going to take on more pressure. You're going to take on those next, like, are you truly happy that you got the raise? Like, are you doing what you want to do? Or, it's a lot to think about. And it's interesting. Like, it never put it into perspective until we came out here to Tennessee and I could actually think about things. But coming out here, I understood that I needed to play for happiness, right? I needed to play for value, like my value. Like, what can I bring to the table? And that's where, like, I started to capitalize more on my skills. And, like, I wasn't just, like filling out the resume and like, oh, I could check those boxes. I could probably do that. I could do this. Yeah. And just doing whatever I needed to say to get into their box, to get to the next level. Like it opened my eyes. Like, I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, this isn't making me happy because I'm only chasing this dollar, this level. So I can keep playing at this level. And then we go to the next one. And then, I talked about it in like a vlog, with kids soccer and stuff. It's a bummer that it works out that way, but that's America. That's capitalism, and you want your kid to play on a club soccer team and play with the best and be seen by the best and stuff. But really, there's a ton of kids on rec league that are doing just fine and they're happy playing there too. And if they're good, they're going to get noticed by a coach. But I thought back to like the water cooler conversations, like where you get stuck at work. And it's just, I have so many conversations that play over in my head because that's all you ever hear when you're at work. Like, especially like one spot where I was at in ADP, like you have cubicles, right? And that's all you hear is the same conversation, and it's isolated. It's only, you're very limited on what's going on. And you hear, Johnny wants to tell you all of his drama from last night, and Susie's going to tell you all about her boyfriend that's cheating on her. And it's just the same stories over and over and over that eat at you. Meanwhile, you're supposed to perform and be doing this job so that way you can get that dollar amount and keep moving up that ladder to fit in that box, right? So when I moved to Tennessee, I found a whole new interaction and stimulation that the world was giving me, because now it was allowing me to express myself differently and grow, which was starting to benefit everybody else around me too. So I was like, okay, this is cool. This works. Like, we're all happy, like genuinely happy, but it's working. We're not making as much. We're not making this figure up here that we used to be. But for some reason, that doesn't matter anymore, because there's daily interactions with people that are happy and no traffic, or, someone's not just, diarrhea of their night last night, of everything that went wrong. They're truly like into you. Like, they want to hear about you and what's going on with you and how they can help you, how they can provide value to you. So coming to Tennessee, it taught me, stand up for myself and just do me. Like, as funny as that is, like, you hear that, like, do you, like, yeah, like I learned to stand up for myself when I came out here, and I learned to not care what other people thought. And you hear it all the time. Like, you'll hear somebody be like, oh, I don't give a F, I don't care what anyone thinks. But believe me, now it's very obvious. It is very obvious when you're playing to impress other people's opinions, especially people that don't care about you. That's the craziest thing. And I was stuck in that circle, and just, I look back and I'm ashamed, but I played it. That's all I ever knew. So I played it. And you're not, like, when I was in that cubicle, like, and in that office setting and just trying to climb that ladder and get that next dollar figure, I wasn't looking to expand or improve. And then I have all of this outside noise coming in at the same time that's not helping me expand or improve. And I had to get out of it. Like, I had to get out of it. And so you're stuck in these echo chambers, and now we're stuck in echo chambers in social media where you just get stuck in the algorithm. You're only hearing one side of things. You're not hearing other. They're not conversations. And conversation is the key to any relationship in this world. Like, conversation makes the world go round. So coming out here, it's funny, you learn to have more meaningful conversations. At the grocery store, you're talking to the clerk, you're talking to the teller at the bank, you're talking to Joe Schmo at the hardware store, because you find this inner value that people respect, and they truly want to talk to you. So we're not talking in these empty echo chambers on social media. So that I'm trying to just explain it, like, And it's almost hard to explain what it's like. Like, it's almost fake being in person and having these conversations with people because they're just so genuine. But I feel like I am busier than ever. Like, I'm busier than I used to be. But the only difference is I'm busy doing stuff that makes me happy, not busy doing stuff that drains me and just I don't enjoy and completely leaves me obliterated by the end of the day. And then I come home to my wife and kids and then they get that and it's just not a good mix, right? So I had to stop living and focusing on that performance-based life, trying to, check that next box and make that next goal, and had to learn to value myself and my time and piece of what makes me happy. And once I figured that out, once I'm happy, now I bring everybody else in and everybody else is happy. Like it just spreads like crazy. I can't tell you, like, when someone's in a good mood, like, you ever have those people that just come into the room and they're laughing or they're just bubbly and excited and it just makes you smile because they're so happy, and it's infectious. It is. But also it goes the same way with negativity, right? And that rubs off on people. So, when you start to focus on yourself being happy and that positivity and just being stoked on what you're doing, it brings everybody else along with you. So I just wanted to hop on here. It's a Friday thought. Maybe this will be something I'm going to do on Fridays just to get some stuff off my mind, off my chest, what I'm thinking, how I'm feeling, and just because I see a lot of comments, I see people talking about just how they feel stuck, how they're not going to be any more than a paycheck, how, all sorts of things. And I don't know, if I can be a light for somebody, for one person, that's all I want to be. Like, it's crazy when you look at like Instagram and, someone says, oh yeah, you have 3,100 followers on there and your story gets 700 views. Like, I really need to get mine up. But even if you have, like, your story has like 50 views, can you imagine like standing in a room and talking to 50 people? That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people that are listening and hearing what you have to say. So that's where like social media came in, where it's like, even if I have one person that's like clicking and like getting inspired by something, that's cool. Like, I'm stoked. So I don't know. Friday thoughts. I just thought I'd hop on here. I wanted to pass that along. Maybe that helps somebody. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe I'm just rambling. But I don't know. It just feels good, So we appreciate y'all. This is, we're having a lot of fun. We're having fun, and I hope there's a lot more of this coming because we have some stuff planned. We just got to make it happen. So it's coming, but again, we appreciate y'all. That is it. We will see you on Tuesday for Tennessee Tuesdays with a side of tequila. Excited. We've got a big event coming up, and we're going to share that one. So just enjoy your weekend and just try to be happy. Let's be more happy, right?